Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. I hope wherever you are and whatever you're doing that you're having a fantastic day. Today we're going to be taking a look into caravans and workshops. Starting with caravans, we'll look at which companions you should use when making a caravan, any prep work you should do before creating the caravan, and whether or not it matters which town you make your caravan in. And then as we move on to workshops, we'll delve into which towns you should build your workshops in, and more importantly, which workshops you should build. Before we get into the guide, I'd like to direct you to my previous guide for becoming a millionaire within days of starting your campaign. The link to that will be up in the top right corner of this video round about now, and also in the description. The previous guide takes you through smithing and will give you all the funds that you need to be frivolous with your money and splash out on some caravans and workshops as soon as they become available to you to really help you kickstart your merchant empire. Caravans are perfect for the early game and become more and more risky the longer the game goes on. As you can see here, even a band of looters have just defeated and captured my caravan. This can be very detrimental if you have just spent 15,000 dinars setting it up and then it's immediately captured. Now, a few tips to hopefully stop that happening and also make a very profitable caravan. Firstly, you want to make sure that you recruit a companion with either the Swift or Spice Vendor attribute. You can easily find them by opening the encyclopedia in-game with N on your keyboard, selecting the Heroes tab, scrolling down on the left-hand side and selecting the Wanderer option as I'm doing here. This will show you a list of all available recruitable companions. Please bear in mind this list will expand as the game goes on. You want to look for companions with either Swift or Spice Vendor. Spice Vendor companions will potentially yield more money as they have a better trade skill. However, Swift companions will be able to defend themselves slightly better. Once you've recruited your companion, make sure that you gear them up well using all the money that you made in my previous video before then putting them into a caravan. The reason we want either of these two companions is because the trade skill is a must for caravans. However, you also want them to have good combat skills, and the roguery stat on the Swift will mean that they can sell prisoners for more money should they encounter any bandits on their travels, which is why the Swift is by far the best choice in my opinion. Now, you've got your caravans set up and they're pulling in a bit of income. You want more. You need thousands of dinars filling your pockets every day without any risk of your merchants getting captured by bandits. This is where things get really fun, and we can dive into what I like to call WWW, or the wonderful world of workshops. Now this is where we move on to the really exciting part of the video. The part where we can make buckets of cash every single day. You can spend a lot more time with workshops than you can with caravans, researching which workshops will make the most money, which towns they work best in, and all the little nuances and details, such as, are the villages procedurally generated, i.e. do they change their production with each playthrough? Well, we're about to answer all of this and so much more. Firstly, I can confirm for you that villages do not change their production playthrough to playthrough. Nothing tied to workshops and money making is procedurally generated, so this guide will serve you well on every single playthrough without fail. That means that every town and every workshop I advise you to go to and build now will work 100% of the time, and that is a domtastic guarantee. Ignore all the small print, that's who even reads that, is fine. There is many things to be aware of when it comes to workshops. I could drivel on for countless hours about every single little tiny detail, but the fact is most of them tiny details don't matter. There are guides and spreadsheets and tutorials plastered around the internet of people breaking down every single little factor that makes this town make 3 more dinars per day than this town. As long as you know the main towns that will make you the money consistently, you are set. And I've broken this down into my 4 must-have towns to build workshops in with 6 backups. The reason I've got 10 workshops to play around with and to use is because if you're at war with a specific faction, of course you can't build a workshop there. And for anyone who wasn't aware, if you do have a workshop there already, it will be torn down and you will lose that income. Throughout the course of a playthrough, you're pretty much guaranteed to go to war with every single town. So be aware that you may need to rebuild the workshops occasionally, but that's why you want to be strategic with your placement. I will give you all the tools necessary. I will show you the most profitable workshop locations, and then you will take that and you will look at which kingdom you're allied with, which kingdoms are close by and you're likely to go to war with, and then pick and choose which ones suit you best. Now, with all that out the way, my top tip is wool. Wool makes so much money. It's insane how much money wool makes. Rule of thumb is you just want every wool workshop. Now, my top 4 go-to workshops that I have used in this playthrough, so you can see how much money they're making me a day, is a wool weavery in Lycaron, Boros, and Akalat, and a brewery in Sanala. These 4 workshops combined should make you between 1,200 and 1,500 dinars a day, without fail. Now, the 6 other good workshop locations that I strongly recommend, in no particular order, is a second brewery in Askar, another wool weavery in Tial, an olive press in Jaculan, a winery in Pencannock, a smithy in Epicrotea, and one final wool weavery in Baltakhand. As you'll see, I keep checking my workshop production levels, and Baltakhand isn't doing particularly well in this playthrough. That's most likely down to it having quite a low prosperity, as it's changed hands quite a few times due to war. Therefore, what I would probably do is sell off this workshop and replace it for one of the other ones on my top 10 list. At this point in the guide, I would just like to say, if you have been enjoying this video, and if you found even one piece of information here helpful or interesting, it would help the channel out so much if you'd subscribe to the channel and maybe like the video as well. That will wrap up the bulk of the video. I absolutely love answering questions, and I want to make sure that these videos stay helpful and interesting and relevant. So if there's anything else you would like to know about, or anything else you would like me to do a video on, please let me know down in the comments. I'll be more than happy. That is everything from me. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'm just going to leave the video running with some gameplay in the background and some lovely relaxing music on for an extra couple of minutes, just to make sure that we definitely hit that 10-minute mark, as we all know how delightful YouTube's algorithm is. I hope you've all had a wonderful holiday season, and I wish you a happy new year, and I'll see you again soon. Have a domtastic day. Bye bye.